As of Tuesday, June 27th, meat boy Guram Kutateladze, aka the Georgia Viking, is scheduled to fight this weekend against Elves Brenner. And I set it up that way because historically Guram just keeps pulling out of fights. It seems like the guy has such bad luck, but when he is in there, he's absolutely killing guys. And the dude is just another example of these Georgia fighters who are simply next level. And he's 1-1 in the UFC, but he was able to pick up a split decision win over Gamrot, and to make your debut and pull off such a sweet win against a very tough guy in Gamrot, gave him his first L. I think just really spoke to the quality of fighter that the Georgia Viking is. And then in his next fight, he fought in another close split decision. This time, however, he was on the wrong end of it and fought against Damir Ismagulov, who fights later on this card. So arguably the guy could be 2-0 in the UFC, two very close competitive fights, and his pre-UFC career was nothing short of brilliant as well. So we know Guram is a guy who trains with Hamzat. He's a guy who is extremely well-rounded, can do it all, can press an insane pace, and the odds makers think that it's going to be pretty light work as a -650 favorite against Elves Brenner, who he's undefeated in the UFC, just picked up a split decision win over Zubaira Tukhugov. But if anyone watched that fight, it was, I thought, one of the worst robberies we've seen in recent memory, and we know how many robberies we've seen in the last 2 years, meat boy, but Zubaira absolutely did enough to win that fight. The fact that Elves emerged with the split victory was a little bit confusing and a little bit concerning, truthfully, but nonetheless, it's a win in the UFC win column, and the UFC says, here you go, Elves, congrats on a big W. Here's an opportunity to fight Guram Kutateladze, the Georgia Viking, who is someone who is not easy to matchmake for because no one wants to accept a fight against this guy. So what are your thoughts on this one? Is this absolute light work? Does the -650 odds for Guram make sense, or is Elvis going to be the one singing?
You know, honestly, this one's such a good fight. I mean, Elvis could be absolutely singing this weekend, but I don't know, man. Guram is pretty big savage, but he is the pullout king. So I wonder if he even shows up on this fight. This is gonna be a very close fight. I'm very surprised the odds makers are gonna be like this. That being said, with Guram being a -400, it's pretty juicy. So I'm going to absolutely hammer this because this is, almost a guaranteed win. Elvis could get another squeaky, lucky YOLO decision, bad judging. Who knows? But I think Guram is gonna finish him in first round.
Yeah, I sort of envision Guram getting it finished as well, but I mean, Elvis is a tough guy. Maybe he can survive, and like you said, if things go the distance and then get sketchy with the scorecards, you just never know these days with these UFC judges. But you touched on the -400, and that was what the Georgia Viking opened at, right? -400, but so much early action has been coming on the Georgia Vikings. So if Meat Boy has swelled to -650, maybe even touches -800 range, are you even going to consider that a parlay piece? Like, is there a point where the numbers just aren't going to make sense for Guram being placed in any of your bets?
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna put him in any of my bets unless it's like an over or under for maybe a doinky parlay. But yeah, I'm probably gonna fade him all in all because you just never know. -400, it's never too appealing to me. So I'll probably fade it. But I think Guram is going to get this done pretty convincingly.
Yeah, he should be a lock. It should be convincing. Let's just hope that he shows up this weekend because, again, the dude has had some bad luck, and perhaps Elvis Brenner is just the opponent he needs to right the ship. But 96% is rolling with Guram. They think it's Lock City. Only 4% is rolling with Elvis. That is his friends and family, and most of Guram's backers think that a base decision is in the works. But I think you're onto something. Maybe the finished props or the under 2.5 might be getting you something juicy because Guram, we've seen him fight in very tough decisions thus far in the UFC, but that's against Damir Ismagulov and Gamer Gamrot, who are two absolutely tough guys, and Elvis is kind of nowhere near that conversation, so maybe Guram's able to get his first UFC finish against a lesser opponent like Elvis. So I'm with you. I'm going to take Guram. Don't love the odds, obviously, but should be a lot. Any last thoughts?
No, this is a fun fight. Make sure to throw in the comments who you taken and why. Make sure to smash me, subscribe, and